The Discovery. Commander Ilara Hayes stood motionless in the central observation deck of the Terran exploration vessel Horizon, her eyes fixed on the holographic projection hovering before her. The deep space outpost they'd discovered shouldn't exist, at least not according to humanity's understanding of the galaxy. Nestled within the shadow of a gas giant in the Proxima Centauri system, the structure's design defied human architectural principles, its geometry flowing in impossible curves that seemed to bend space itself. "Commander, we've managed to decrypt some of their data storage," reported Lieutenant Marcus Chen, the ship's communications specialist. His fingers danced across the translucent interface as streams of alien code transformed into recognizable patterns. "You're going to want to see this." Ilara moved closer, her reflection distorted in the curved display. The rest of the bridge crew had fallen silent, their attention drawn to the unfolding discovery. "It's a monitoring station," Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper. "They've been watching us for centuries." The projection shifted to reveal thousands of archived recordings, Earth's history cataloged by alien observers. Wars, technological advancements, cultural shifts, all meticulously documented and analyzed. But what made Ilara's blood run cold was the classification header that appeared on every file. "Species designate 3279C, quarantine protocol active." They quarantined us. Dr. Sofia Mendez, the expedition's xenobiologist, leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "Why?" The answer came as Marcus unlocked another layer of encryption. A formal assessment document appeared, stamped with symbols that the ship's AI translated as Galactic Coalition Security Council. The report dated back over a century, describing humanity as technologically promising but psychologically unstable, prone to violence and self-destruction. "There's more," Marcus said, his face pale in the blue light of the display. "They made first contact with the Proximans instead of us, deliberately bypassed Earth 50 years ago." Ilara felt her jaw tighten. The Proximans, the mysterious aquatic species humanity had detected signs of but never confirmed, had apparently been in contact with an interstellar community, while Earth remained isolated, deemed unworthy. The Proximans were chosen because they exhibited, Marcus paused, squinting at the translation, psychological stability and non-aggressive societal structures. "They judged us and found us wanting," Dr. Mendez whispered. "No," Ilara replied, her voice sharp with sudden clarity. "They were afraid of us." Over the next 48 hours, the crew of the Horizon worked tirelessly to extract every piece of information from the alien outpost. What they discovered shattered everything humanity thought it knew about its place in the cosmos. The Galactic Coalition, comprising 17 spacefaring species, had been monitoring Earth since the Industrial Revolution, debating whether humans should ever be allowed to join their interstellar community. In a secure conference room aboard the Horizon, Ilara briefed her senior staff on their findings. The atmosphere was tense, the implications of their discovery still sinking in. The Coalition's assessment of humanity was fundamentally flawed, Ilara explained, pacing the length of the conference table. "They interpreted our adaptability as instability, our diversity as division, our competitiveness as aggression." "But why keep us in the dark?" asked Commander Raj Patel, the ship's executive officer. "If they've been watching us develop faster than light travel, why not make contact now?" Dr. Mendez cleared her throat. "According to these files, they were waiting for us to either self-destruct or evolve beyond certain behaviors they considered disqualifying. They've done this with dozens of species across the galaxy." Lieutenant Chen, who had been analyzing a separate data stream, suddenly straightened in his chair. "Commander, I found something else. Something they overlooked." The holographic display shifted to show genetic comparisons between humans and other Coalition species. Certain sequences in human DNA were highlighted, patterns that existed nowhere else in the documented galaxy. "These sequences," Dr. Mendez said, her voice rising with excitement as she recognized what she was seeing. They're adaptive immunological markers. Our immune systems evolve differently from any other known species. And look at this, Chen added, pulling up another file. The Coalition has been fighting a pandemic for the last 30 years, something called the Nexus pathogen. It's devastated 6 of their worlds. Ilara connected the dots immediately, and our unique biology might hold the key to fighting it. Not might, Dr. Mendez corrected, her eyes wide as she examined the data. According to these simulations they ran, human antibodies would create a 97% effective vaccine against the Nexus pathogen. They knew this 20 years ago. The room fell silent as the implications settled over them. The Coalition had deliberately isolated Earth, even as millions of their own people died from a disease that humans might have helped cure. They chose wrong, Ilara said softly, then with growing conviction. They chose wrong. The journey back to Earth was tense. The horizon carried information that would forever change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe and its relationship with the stars. Upon their return, the findings sparked intense debate among Earth's unified government. Some advocated for immediate military preparation, fearing the Coalition might take action once they realized their monitoring station had been discovered. Others pushed for diplomatic outreach. In the end, Earth chose a different path. 3 months after the Horizon's return, Earth's unified government made its decision. Using the alien technology they'd recovered and reverse-engineered from the monitoring station, Earth would send a message, not just to the Coalition's leadership, but to every world and outpost across Coalition space. Ilara stood in the command center of the newly constructed quantum transmission array in the Atacama Desert. The massive installation hummed with power drawn from Earth's global fusion network, ready to broadcast humanity's first deliberate message to the stars. "Are we certain this will work?" asked President Amara Okafor, who had traveled to witness this historic moment. "The transmission will bypass their normal communication channels," Ilara explained. "It will appear simultaneously on every Coalition communication device, override their security protocols. They won't be able to block it or deny it. And everyone will know what they did," Raj added. "Not just their leadership, but every citizen of every world." President Okafor nodded gravely. "Proceed, Commander Hayes." Ilara stepped forward and pressed her palm against the activation panel. The array surged with power, channeling energy through quantum entanglement pathways stolen from Coalition technology. Across the galaxy, on 17 worlds and countless space stations, screens flickered. Regular transmissions were interrupted as Earth's message appeared, simple text in the Coalition's universal language, followed by data packets containing evidence of the Coalition's deliberate isolation of Earth and the suppressed research about human immunity to the Nexus pathogen. The message was just 3 words: "You chose wrong." The Reckoning. 7 days after Earth's quantum broadcast, the skies above every major city on the planet filled with alien vessels. They made no aggressive moves, merely holding position in high orbit, a show of force, perhaps, or simply bewilderment. The Coalition had never anticipated that a quarantined species would not only discover their surveillance, but use their own technology against them. In the United Earth Council chamber in Geneva, Ilara Hayes stood beside President Okafor as they prepared to receive the first official Coalition delegation. The room was tense, security personnel lining the walls, though everyone understood that if the Coalition wanted conflict, they possessed technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. Receiving transmission from the lead vessel, announced a technician. "They're requesting permission to land a diplomatic shuttle." President Okafor exchanged glances with her advisors before nodding. "Grant permission. Direct them to the designated landing zone." 90 minutes later, Ilara found herself face to face with aliens who had been watching humanity from the shadows for generations. The delegation comprised representatives from 5 different species, the founding members of the Coalition. Their physiology varied dramatically. The Arcturians with their crystalline exoskeletons, The Meridians, whose liquid-like bodies flowed within containment suits, the avian Taurans with iridescent feathers, the silicon-based Vulcans, and leading them, a tall, graceful being with 6 limbs and opalescent skin who introduced herself as High Counselor Selenus of the Elysian people. Commander Hayes, Selenus said, her voice translated through a device at her throat. Your discovery of our observation post was unexpected, as was your decision to quarantine our entire species, Ilara responded evenly. High Counselor Selenus made a gesture that might have been the equivalent of a sigh. The Coalition's protocols for contact with developing civilizations were established millennia ago, after several catastrophic first contact scenarios. Earth presented unique challenges. President Okafor interjected, her voice sharp. You watched our world struggle through wars and diseases while possessing technology that could have helped us advance peacefully. You denied us knowledge of a larger community among the stars. And in doing so, added Dr. Mendez, who had joined the delegation as Earth's xenobiology expert, you've allowed millions of your own people to die from the Nexus pathogen when our biology contained the solution. At this, a visible ripple of discomfort passed through the alien delegation. The Vulcan representative stepped forward, its crystalline structure catching the light. Many of us were not aware of the full extent of the Security Council's decisions regarding Earth, it said, its voice sounding like stones sliding against each other. Your broadcast has caused significant disruption within Coalition society. That was the intent, Ilara replied without apology. High Counselor Selenus raised a limb in what appeared to be a placating gesture. We are here neither to threaten nor apologize, but to offer a new beginning. The Coalition Security Council has been disbanded. Their protocols are being reassessed. And the Nexus pathogen, Dr. Mendez pressed. That is part of why we are here, admitted Selenus. The situation has worsened in the months since your discovery. 3 more worlds have reported outbreaks. Our scientists have confirmed what yours have undoubtedly concluded. Human immunological responses hold the key to an effective treatment. President Okafor's expression remained neutral. And now you wish for our help. We wish for cooperation, Selenus corrected. An exchange of knowledge and technology that should have begun decades ago. The negotiation that followed lasted 17 hours. Earth's representatives, led by President Okafor and advised by Commander Hayes and her team, bargained from a position of moral authority if not technological equality. By the time agreements were reached, humanity had secured not just medical collaboration, but access to Coalition technology, scientific knowledge, and cultural exchanges. 3 months later, Ilara found herself aboard the Coalition medical vessel, Asclepius, overseeing the distribution of the newly developed vaccine. Derived from human antibodies and enhanced through Coalition biotechnology, the treatment had proven 99.4% effective in clinical trials. The first world to receive it was Meridia, one of the hardest hit by the pandemic. They're calling you heroes, said Talos, a Tauran physician who had become something of a friend to Ilara during their work together. His feathers shifted in patterns that she had learned indicated amusement. The humans who emerged from quarantine to save the Coalition that had judged them unworthy. Ilara watched through the observation window as the first shipments of vaccine were transferred to Meridian medical teams. We're not doing this to be heroes, she replied. We're doing it because it's right. That, Talos said thoughtfully, is precisely what many in the Coalition are beginning to understand about humans. Your moral frameworks are adaptable, yet surprisingly consistent in certain fundamental ways. The changes rippling through Coalition society went far beyond medical cooperation. Earth's emergence on the galactic stage had forced a reckoning with centuries of policy. Other quarantine species were being reassessed. The philosophy of non-interference was being debated in public forums across 17 worlds. 6 months after first contact, Earth hosted the inaugural meeting of the new Interstellar Cooperative, replacing the old Coalition structure. Representatives from 23 species, including 6 previously quarantined civilizations, gathered in the newly constructed Harmony Dome in New Alexandria. The old hierarchies were dissolving, replaced by more equitable arrangements that valued the unique perspectives each species brought to the table. "They still don't fully understand us," Raj commented to Ilara as they watched the proceedings from a balcony overlooking the main chamber. "No," Ilara agreed, "but they're trying now. And we're trying to understand them. That's the difference." Dr. Mendez joined them, datapad in hand. The Joint Research Initiative has identified 12 more diseases affecting various coalition species that human biology might help address. And coalition biotechnology is helping us make breakthroughs in treating several previously incurable human conditions. Ilara nodded, watching as beings from across the galaxy engaged in animated discussion below. "Everyone benefits when knowledge is shared. That's what they feared most about us, you know," said Raj quietly. "Not just our capacity for violence, but our adaptability. Our ability to incorporate new ideas and technologies rapidly. They thought we'd overwhelm them culturally. Perhaps we will, in some ways," Dr. Mendez mused. "But they'll change us too. That's how it should work." A small alert chimed on Ilara's communications device. It was a notification from the Joint Earth Coalition Deep Space Exploration Initiative. The first mixed-species crew, including 3 humans, had just departed for the Andromeda Galaxy, a journey no coalition species had attempted before. "They need us," Ilara realized, watching the diverse gathering below. "Not just our biology or our technology, but our perspective, our willingness to take risks, to push boundaries. And we need them," added Dr. Mendez. "Their experience, their caution, their different ways of seeing the universe." As the historic session came to order, with President Okafor and High Counselor Selenis jointly presiding, Ilara couldn't help but reflect on the message that had started it all. 3 simple words that had changed the course of galactic history. "You chose de wrong." But now, watching humans and aliens working together to build something new, she wondered if perhaps that message needed an addendum. Something that captured the spirit of what was happening now. Not just a rebuke of past mistakes, but an invitation to a different future. "But we can choose better," she whispered to herself. "Together." Below, the new Interstellar Cooperative took its first unified vote. Unanimous approval for the establishment of open borders between all member worlds. A new era had begun, catalyzed by humanity's defiant message and shaped by the shared recognition that diversity, of biology, of thought, of approach, was not a weakness to be feared, but a strength to be embraced. The quarantine was over. The stars were open to all.